And that was a really exasperated tone because this is just always a technology debacle. But we are bringing you the running news from the week, whether it is to entertain you on your long run or to give you something to talk about with your running group. We've got you covered. And we got lots of news this week, I feel like. It was like a heavy news week, right?
It was a heavy track and field, heavy running week. Yeah, agreed. And I think we got some breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. Did you see I'm going to go right to it, by the way. Did you see the photograph I sent to you in the email?
I saw that there was a photograph.
You should launch that photograph.
All right.
And tell me what you see in that photograph.
Is it double finger guns?
Well,
do we think there's any way someone listened to our show?
We're breaking news right now that there were double finger guns in the 60 meters at the U.S. World Championships. Oh, I'm sorry, the U.S. Championships. No such thing as U.S. World Championships.
Did he get in trouble?
No.
Because he didn't shoot him at anybody.
He didn't shoot anybody. No one was injured in his finger guns.
That's crazy.
But they're not the Noah Lyles single finger gun.
Yeah.
It's the double finger.
That's the one that we said is the kind you can't do.
That's a gun. That's a gun. That's double gun. It's not just one gun, by the way. The other guy got one gun and he got DQ'd.
Wow.
He went double guns.
That's so insane.
Now I will say it live. He did it so quick. I saw it and it was like, wow, did he just do guns? And then he went to other things real quick, and then the camera had cut away, and so it was only on there for a frame or two, but I caught it.
Sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky. So yeah, the winner of the 60 meters was beat Noah Lyles, by the way. Second scoop of the day. Noah Lyles came in third. But yeah, he did finger guns, and then I'm wondering whether he realized quickly, oh, can't do that. Went away from the finger guns real quick. But if you look at the picture, it is crystal clear finger guns.
That's so interesting. Well,
can you see him?
I do see it.
Yeah, it's double guns.
Yeah, and I don't like when the rules are bent for anybody. So I mean, DQ this guy. No, I'm just kidding. I think the problem was that he was shooting someone else last time, Yeah,
he was shooting. His single gun was aiming at the guy's head last time.
Yeah. The double's just like at the crowd, It's like a starting gun. It was like two starting guns. It's like, I'm ready for the race again.
The double guns. All right. Anyway, so we start with U.S. Indoor Championships.
Well, actually, we should.
Oh, you got. Yeah, go ahead.
Stuff.
Yeah, break it.
Very few. First was, I can't believe this didn't make your list. Your girl Des Linden won the Disney Half Marathon. Are we not a Disney running podcast reporting whatever?
We are, and I didn't see that. Even though I listened to her podcast, obviously that'll be on her breaking news next week's podcast. But
yeah,
they were talking about her like 50K that she recently did, which she didn't win. She's going into trail running.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So she's really transitioning into trail. But this one, the one that she just recently did was like a 50K, and she wasn't the winner, but she also was just trying to get experience.
Yeah, that's fun.
So no, I didn't see it. So that's big news.
I mean, like big news, and like not to be a hater, but like people who don't run the Disney marathons. So
she beat a lot of non-runners.
Yeah, well, I think it's just one of those things where like. Because I think I saw something like last year or the year before. It was like someone got the course record or whatever. And it's like pedestrian in comparison to like what a normal course. Because like it's like designed so that you stop and like meet the characters. And like I've seen people posting like, do you think I'm going to have time to ride the dwarfs ride in the middle of my run? It's like, what do you mean? Why aren't you doing that?
I'm going to bet Des took it a little more serious than interacting with the characters. That's how she beat everybody.
For sure. Right. She ran it was like a 118, 119, I think. So it was like a great time.
Sorry, for half marathon, 218.
Half marathon.
Oh, it was half marathon. Okay. 118. Okay.
That's a decent time.
No, that's decent. Yeah. I mean, we just had the World Championships the U.S. Championships in the half marathon. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but that time was like 109.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're top of their game.
Yeah, and this is Disney, so it's just for fun. So yeah, I was surprised that you didn't have that on there, but congratulations to her.
Yep.
because I feel like last week we were talking about the stupid runner's world news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this one. Runner did a 5K in the plane toilet.
No, I just he just ran around the interior of an airplane toilet and called it a 5K. How
like
is that not certified, by the way? Not a certified
send
course.
him to jail, honestly.
A guy's in the. How long is it going to take you to do a 5K? By the way, I mean, what's it going to take? 15 minutes if you're fast.
If you're fast, but you're basically running in place, so you're not going fast. Like
no, you're not going as fast. I mean, so you got to say 20 minutes. You're in the bathroom for 20 minutes on an airplane. I think people should be checking on you because it's like, what are you doing in there? Like, if you go to the bathroom, fine, but if like, you shouldn't be in there for 20 minutes.
No, yeah,
No.
no, insane. I was like, this is like the most criminal offense because I feel like we talked about those guys that did the marathon in the grocery store, which like still just seems like rude and like I don't like these little stunts people are doing. But I'm like, this is just
That's a ridiculous stunt.
And again, Runner's World, you're now like you're like propping these people up for doing stupid stuff. Don't report on this. Dumb.
I did hear about it. I didn't see it, but I did hear because I was listening to a different podcast, a sports podcast, and they were talking about stupid things that they were going to do during a live show. And one of them was they're going to run a 10K inside a booth, inside like a 10-foot wide booth. And then one of the guys chimed in and said there's a guy on YouTube who does 5Ks or 10Ks like at different weird places on a washing machine. He did one on his toilet, like on the toilet seat. So like he measured the seat and then went around that many times. I didn't see it. I'm not going to go waste my time to watch that. But
no.
So this guy in the airplane, he just did it at 30,000 feet. That's the only difference.
And he's inconveniencing other people. At least this like maniac is just doing things in his own home, like running on his toilet seat, which is like still nutty, but like, all right, go off. People do dumb stuff at home, but like you're now inconveniencing an entire flight of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to bet he wasn't in first class. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
First class paid. They wouldn't do that.
Do they even have first class on planes anymore?
I don't even know. They do on some of the international flights. I don't know whether they have it on like a local flight.
Ugh, if I'm on a plane and there's a guy doing a 5K in the toilet, I am rioting. I recently was talking to someone who was talking about how they're talking about flying all the time. And she's like, oh yeah, we're always walking up and down doing squats in the back. And I'm like, oh, I hate you. Like,
yeah.
You're so annoying. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, if you're on like a 2-hour flight, really, you can't manage not to do air squats. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, just sit down and read a book.
Yeah, take a nap, read a book, watch a movie.
Yeah, it's not like you've never sat in a chair for 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it's like people do that, and you don't die doing it.
Yeah, right. Like famous last words or something, but. I'm just like, ugh. So people on planes, I mean, it's like the lowest form of comedy is like plain humor, but like, ugh, so annoying. Iron Man banned the GoPro and any other type of videoing. Did you see this?
I did see that headline that they had, banned certain things on this in the Iron Man, but I didn't go beyond that because we typically haven't covered Iron Man, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to skip it.
Yeah, well, so right. We don't really talk about Ironmans, but I know like other races do this sometimes too, where I've seen like other articles, people talking about like someone got kicked out of the race because they were filming the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, within like the influencer-y, vlog-y type culture, like you can't go on the internet without seeing like someone running. I can't do it because my screen's so small. Someone running while they're like videotaping themselves on their run.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I mean, you really need like a 2-hour video of you running. And again, it's okay, fine. To each his own. I'm okay with what you're doing until it interacts with other people. Until you're now, yeah, exactly. And you're not now paying attention. You're now talking to the camera. You're not really looking where you're going. You're stumbling. You're tripping people. You're holding people up. You're not basically aware of what's going on around you because you're so focused on your own little video.
Yeah.
And I say little video, they probably get way, they may have more viewers.
Infinite more than this podcast. But how dare you?
But that's not what is important here.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I thought it was just interesting. So like, because some races still do like you can't have headphones and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, you really like make a safe choice. Like we don't need to be so distracted, which brings me to another thing, which I've done little to no looking into, but because we talked about that, is that last week with that Florida race where the man was hit by a car?
Oh yeah.
Another Florida issue. There was a death at an adventure race, vehicle
Ooh.
accident. So again, there was like, because it's an ongoing investigation, so like very little information is put out, but yeah, like very experienced adventure racer allegedly, they just say died in a vehicle accident during the race. When I looked to like try to double check, I was like, there's no like portion of this race where he would like be in a car that crashed or whatever. It doesn't seem like that. So they immediately pulled everyone from the course when they found that out and are now investigating. So I don't know what is going on. An adventure race obviously is a little different because it's, all over wherever. It's not so much like on the streets, but maybe even weirder that that's happening there too. I don't know.
Yeah, would a bicycle be part of a vehicle? Would that be considered a vehicle? No, vehicle really is a car.
Yeah,
Some sort of motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would just say bike. You would just say, you wouldn't say vehicle if it wasn't like a vehicle.
I would think, yeah.
Okay. I just think of an adventure, I can't imagine like, where you going getting in a car. Anyway.
Yeah, I know, maybe it was a bike and I just, because there was such little information on it, that I actually don't know.
Well, the report,
crazy.
they could have just said vehicle and, even though it was a bicycle, they try to put out so little information. It's like, come on, just give us the straight story of what you believe happened, although the problem is, like, then there's lawsuits.
Yeah.
Okay. Attorneys have told them not to say a thing.
Never mind.
Cancel.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have news-wise. And then I obviously have things to comment on, especially with actually probably only the half marathon. But yeah, do you want to get into indoor? What is it? Indoor
U.S. championships. So my first takeaway from the U.S. indoor championships was it was a pretty weak field. I mean, again, no disrespect to the people that were there. There were some top name people there, but across the board, people that were winning were, people that you and I probably haven't heard of. You saw the listing, right? Because we were picking who we thought would be the winners. And then you look at the list, I'm like, I don't even recognize most of these people. Like in the 60 meters, right? I mean, there's no Sha'Carri Richards. There's no Melissa Jefferson Wooden. I mean, it's so the top people, Gabby Thomas. There's no names that you recognize necessarily. Again, the people that did win, I'm sure they're great athletes. I'm sure they're good. They're just not the household names that the sport needs at a premier event to draw people in. So for that reason, I'm going to give Noah Lyles his due. He hadn't run a 60 meters all season. He went there. He did a little bit of his promo, which, again, the sport needs. He went there with his WWE belt. And, it was talking with the commentator ahead of time saying, like, he's the champ. No one's going to take the belt from him. He's the best, blah, 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 which was, again, entertaining. And he went in there and he came in third. It was relatively close. And again, the two guns guy won, came in first. So that was Jordan Anthony. And I know handled it well. And again, so I give him credit for being a big name person who did go to it. And he wasn't even going to go to Worlds if he did qualify. He didn't qualify, but he wasn't going to go. So he didn't really need to do it. So I'm going to give him his respect.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when you sent that list over, and like definitely the format was kind of throwing my eyes off a little bit, but I'm like, it wasn't until we saw like women's longer distances I was like, is this a high school meet? Like, I don't know any of these names. Like and I know that I don't know that many, but I'm like, we talk about them almost every week. And I'm like, I don't know a single one of these people. So I'm just like guessing who's going to do well. And I did not make very good guesses, I see.
Yeah, no, well, I got a couple right, but yeah, both you and I didn't do great on our selections, so we won't go through those today. On the 60, though, you mentioned a high schooler, the woman who came in second, Maxwell. I think it's Mia Maxwell. Actually, a high school athlete. She's so a couple of high schoolers in this competition. Her sister was in it, and she came in third. So
you said my sister?
No, her sister.
Oh, I was like,
not your sister. No, she's not. She's an attorney. She is not a sprinter.
And she's older. She's definitely not a high schooler.
Not a high schooler. So yeah, the 60. I think the only story there was the guns and Noah Lyles. 400 meters. Again, tough couple of women that I didn't necessarily know. I mean, I think globally they're ranked like 35th and 32nd, were the two, first and second place for the women. On the men's side, McRae, we talked about him last week, setting the world record or 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
the world indoor record, and he did win it. So, but again, some of the big names really weren't there, and he's one of the big names. So, but he wasn't facing stiff competition. 800 meters, very similar. Not a lot of big names there. Although Lutkenhaus, who's the other high schooler, he was there, but he was facing competition that he was probably 2 seconds faster than for the most part as far as best times go, and he won it relatively easily. 1,500 meters, now we're getting to the ones that are a little bit more interesting. Women's side, Nikki Hills.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Nikki Hills came through. She has been dominant in these big U.S. meets, and she came through again. Felt like she won that one pretty easy. And on the men's side, now it's important to know that the 3,000 was on Saturday, which Nagoose and Cole Hocker are both in, and they ran on Saturday. We'll get to that in a minute. But the 1,500 was on Sunday, so it was the day after. But the shocker there was both Nagoose and Cole Hocker finished 4th and 5th in the 1,500. Won by a guy named Green, and second place was Hauser. So again, not household names.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the reason Nagoose and Hocker were 4th and 5th, they both tried to do their best to win, but their legs didn't have it, and they couldn't outkick the guys that were fresher. So in the 3,000 on the men's side, Hocker won, Nagoose came in second, and your boy Nico Young, who really looked like he was going to pull this one out and win it, just basically got out kicked by Hocker by maybe a yard, and Nagoose out-leaned him. Like,
Okay.
Nico didn't lean, Nagoose leaned, and Nagoose got second. So it was really, really close. That was an exciting win. And on the women's side, McKay beat St. Pierre, but they're both qualifying for that at the Worlds. So again, both the longer races were the ones that I felt were more entertaining.
Which I feel like we usually say.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there's a little more strategy to them, and the bigger names were there too. Nagoose and Hocker, obviously, bigger names. Nikki Hill's bigger name, but it really just wasn't that second, the second and third and fourth and fifth place person really weren't the same names that we would recognize. All right, well, we had the first major of the year, first major marathon. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Tokyo happens. No one seems to know here in America. Yeah. And the spoiler alert: the top American on the women's side finished 29th.
Wow.
On the men's side, finished 24th. So, for that reason, I think we said it last year too. Just not one that top American marathoners travel for. Bridget Kosgei won on the women's side. She did set a course record.
Yeah.
Tekele from Ethiopia on the men's side, he was the winner at 2:03. Kosgei was 2:14 on the women's side. So, the headlines there were 9 of the top 10 on both the men and women's side were either from Ethiopia or Kenya. Just dominant.
Now, what is I know, what's her name? Cheater Pants. Her world
record still stands. That's
yeah, but what is the time of the not cheatery one? Is it 4:11? I mean 2:11?
Yeah, I think it's 2:09 is the world record that's currently still there, but maybe a little bit disputed. And I think 2:11 is the second fastest time.
Okay.
So 2:14 is respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2:03 certainly on the men's side, very respectable.
Great.
I mean, but again, I don't know that he's the best marathoner in the world.
Right.
All right. Now we're going to get to what is the other reason track and field doesn't get any respect, and it probably sometimes doesn't deserve respect. For example, the U.S. Championships, where the top people don't go. And then in the U.S. road racing half marathon championships, you saw this story, right, where basically Jess McLean, who is a name that most people would recognize, very good runner. She's in the lead. There's 3 people in the lead group. She's now pulling away from that lead 3-person pack. So she's only a mile and a half from the finish. Looks like she's got this thing won, $20,000 of prize money, and being the U.S. champion. And the lead car makes a right turn off course, and they follow the lead car, and they follow it for probably, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, probably a minute and a half, before they realize they're off course. And either the lead car told them to turn around, or they realized they needed to turn around, and they had to turn around, make their way back, and then Jess McClain finishes 9th. And she protests, and it goes to a protest. It gets upheld, and they don't change the result. It goes to appeals. The appeal board sends a statement out saying, "Yeah, this did happen, but there's nothing in the rules to remedy this." So in other words, don't know what to do, can't fix it. Sorry, Jess McClain. So, and the other 2 athletes who would have been first, second, and third, and they finished 9th, I think 11th and 12th.
Yeah,
Just a joke.
So embarrassing for the sport, for the people throwing it. Like, it just, I mean, we've talked about like a few other events, this year of like, why are things so like, how is this even happening on like a big level like this, right? Like, it's not just like someone's backyard cross country team putting on a race and they like can't figure it out. Yeah, like I get that there's nothing explicitly in the rules, because like also, who would have thought you'd need to have that rule, right? Like, if the lead car doesn't, it takes you the wrong way and it's no one's fault. Like, yeah, of course there's no rule for that. Like, why would that ever have happened? You know what I mean? Like, that's moronic.
Yeah, it should just never happen. And so I will say, so this is run by I think the Atlanta Athletic Commission, something to that effect. And they did put out a statement today saying that, one, they acknowledge that if they made a mistake, there was an error by the lead car.
Yeah.
I think the explanation was that there was an officer who had gotten hit at a different intersection. I suspect what that meant was then maybe the lead car is following a police motorcycle. That's what I've seen maybe in the past. Mm-hmm. And so then maybe that motorcycle then had to veer off to then go assist maybe the officer that got hit. And then the lead car followed him. I'm just speculating on that. But then all they said was basically that there was an accident elsewhere on the course with an officer involved, and it caused the lead car to go off course. And they were going to respect those 3 individuals, and they did give them the prize money.
They did.
Yeah, I did see that today, that they are going to try to make it right. I still may not. I mean, that's $20,000 to the lead runner. That's sizable money, and but you sort of rob someone of being the U.S. champion, and I'm sure the U.S. champion doesn't feel like the U.S. champion.
For sure.
Yeah, she feels like she sort of got. I mean, again, maybe it's better than finishing 4th, but Molly Bourne is the U.S. champion. So, and I think she did say that it's an odd reaction it's an odd feeling. She didn't want to do an interview after the race because it was like things are all up in the air. Anyway, so yeah, like it's just embarrassing, as you said. It's a shame that these things have to be planned out better. I don't know how the course can't be marked well enough that everyone should know they're off course. I don't know how it shouldn't be that you can go off course and no one knows it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, like and we haven't done like the most amount of races of people who go run, but like there shouldn't be a turn that like, like how is that even the way that was set up, that like there's a way that a car is turning the wrong way and now people are turning the wrong way, and it's not like, so obviously this is not a small race too, like there's gonna be people standing around, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just kind of baffling that was even an option anyway, just like structurally how things would go.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and I'm sure that as a lead runner, right, you're at the end of a half marathon, and you're already at mile 12. So you're tired and you're focused solely on looking straight ahead and you're just following the lead car. I mean, I can't imagine that you're responsible for, oh, I need to know the course. I need to run the course ahead of time.
For
And
sure.
I need to override the, the whims of the car. If it takes the wrong turn, I'm going to go the right way. That,
Right.
that can't be what the expectations of the officials have to be. I mean, it's,
No, of course not. Yeah, I mean, when I first saw the story, I hadn't seen like the resolution yet, and I was like, oh, I know we're obviously going to talk about this. And in my head, I was kind of like, yeah, as much as I don't like the statement that was like put out that like, oh, we don't know what to do. I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say to do because like you can't just like do it over. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, and so one of the suggestions I saw by, was it Ali Ostrander? I don't even know if I'm saying her name right, but she placed eighth. And she was just talking, she's got like a big social media presence. So she was talking about one of the things that they could do to fix it, since they're saying at the time, like, we don't know how to fix it, was paying out all the athletes, like the 1, 2, 3 in real life, and then the 1, 2, 3 that were casualties. So I'm glad to hear that that happened. But another easy solution she came up with too was measuring the amount of time that they spent off course, which, because all these people always have their Stravas and their watches or whatever, and just subtract that from their finishing time and then go about it that way. And I was like, oh, that's not like a bad answer either, because it's like very trackable, especially if they just like backtrack, you just cut that little section off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, that's also simple solution. And I feel like, again, you won't hear, I would be shocked if people were complaining about that as a resolution too. So it's just like, unfortunately, they may have to make rules about this now, since they're like, oh, we can't trust whatever organization is putting on the event to like not steer people wrong, which is crazy.
Yeah, I did hear this isn't the first time that the Atlanta, athletic group that runs this, I think they had an issue last year.
They're fired.
Yeah, they're fired. Yeah, and this again, as you said, I mean, you and I have done a lot of races. I've never found a situation where like don't know where to go. Now, again, I'm not lead back, so
Right.
yeah. But I mean, courses are pretty well marked. This, I mean, again, you would think the U.S. championships or U.S. road racing championships would be well enough organized and attended, and that you wouldn't have to. That this wouldn't even be a remote situation that would happen. I mean, this should happen at maybe your local Cumberland, Maryland 5K, but it shouldn't happen at the U.S. championships. I don't know why I threw Cumberland, Maryland
I
off
was gonna say.
the bus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that story. I'm sure people have seen it. That one was big news. We have a passing of an icon in the track and field world,
Yes.
Jeff Galloway. For anyone who doesn't know who Jeff Galloway, he was an Olympian, but the father of Jeffing. If anyone doesn't know what Jeffing is, that's the idea of run, then walk, then run. And I've poo-pooed this a few times, saying like, how does someone invent something like that? I've been doing this for my whole life, where you run, you get tired, you sort of slow down, stop, you walk, and then you start running again. But I will say is, as I've read more about it, that he really did, like he changed the landscape of running, because he almost popularized it and made it accessible to the masses, where running like marathons was more viewed by people who were marathoners. Now anyone could be a marathoner, because you can go out and run 5 miles, walk a half a mile, run another, and there's no set method. It's not like you have to run one, walk a half, run 2 more. It's like, hey, you run. If you have to walk, you start walking, you recover, you go back out and you continue to run. So he really did popularize it and made it almost turned that running craze. I mean, he's sort of credited with creating that running craze, where the masses then began to think they could run marathons, and they did. So kudos to him.
Yeah. No. And do you know what racing series he is like partnered with, or
No.
oh, the Disney races, because
No.
the non-runners in the Disney races, and he's always there. Well, he was always there, and he's a big Disney. I think he's part of like the sponsoring or the training team.
Oh my God, full circle today.
Yeah, full circle, and that is why there's a lot of run walkers or couch to marathoners people at the Disney marathons. But yeah, I only had heard about this because the Disney marathon groups. I saw everyone posting all of their Jeff pictures. Super sad. And he was an Olympian, correct?
Yeah, he was an Olympian. Yep. I don't think he won I don't know if he won a medal, but he was an Olympian. He was on an Olympic team.
For the marathon? No.
I don't know. It could have been a track guy at that point in time, as you know. We talked about it. Many times they go track and into marathon. But yeah, he died at 80, and he was very active in running with, as you just said, with the Disney stuff. But he was an icon for the sport. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everywhere you go, you see articles about what's Jeffing, that whole thing. And like you said, right, we've been doing Run Walk forever. And everyone just didn't know that it was his thing. So sad, crazy. Definitely has a legacy left behind, not only in the Disney run community, but I think running everywhere. And I think we have a podcast on Jeffing, or maybe we at least have like a segment on one of the podcasts about that. We did. And I probably was poo-pooing it a little bit at the time, but again, I should not have. This is my apology to Jeff Galloway. There you go. Yeah. God rest his soul. Again, past at 80. So again, a guy that, I'm sure he was probably an Olympic athlete. Maybe you're talking about 40 to 50 years earlier, right? So he was active in the sport all that time since then. So he didn't just do it and then fade away, like many of us do when we retire, just fade away. No, he was still active and did those things. So kudos to him. Would you like to see running in the Winter Olympics? By the way, Winter Olympics, I'm going to say it now, Winter Olympics are too restrictive. The Summer Olympics have so many sports. It's got everything. It's got swimming, judo, running. I mean, you name it. Bowling's probably in there at times. But the Winter Olympics, it has to have like ice or snow. So it's pretty limited, the actual sports that are in the Olympics. And I think they need to open up to all indoor sports. Like if you have, why can't gymnastics be done in the Winter Olympics? Why can't swimming inside a venue with a pool, right? Why can't that be done during the Winter Olympics? There are many things you could do in the Winter Olympics. Well, how would you like to see cross country in the Winter Olympics? Are they running in the snow? I don't know if they've worked that out yet, but I'm going to guess the answer is they're going to run outside. I think that could be really fun. Yeah, they have to be like running outside, and like I don't want to see, they sometimes have like satellite locations in the Olympics for like surfing or whatever, but like I want to still see them like in the mountain. It doesn't have to be in the snow because it's not going to be as fun to watch them run slower, but that could, if it's done right, that could be a little more fun. People like watching running. No one really watches cross country. I mean, people get so into the track and field at the Summer Olympics. So yeah, that could be definitely an interesting add to it. Winter Olympics is just kind of like, meh. Yeah. It'll be less meh if we put more sports in the Winter Olympics. I know, but you can't do like repeat sports because then not repeat. We're gonna move them out of the summer ones and move them into the winter ones. Oh, I don't think people will like wrestling. That. Wrestling. Why do we need wrestling in the summertime? But now you're just moving lame. Now that's just like you're making the Winter Olympics all the lame sports no one wants to see. So like no. First of all, you're going to get a lot of hate from wrestlers who say that. And if there's a wrestler listening to this, bye. Like you found the wrong podcast. We don't talk about wrestling. No. So, but by the way, there's a serious consideration, and I don't know how serious it is, but there's a consideration to have cross country included in the 2030 Winter Olympics. All right. So there's at least a petition. There's at least a request. The IOC actually put out a statement saying that they are considering other sports, as they do with every Winter Olympics. They always add, there's always just 2 or 3 sports that get added to every Olympics by the host country. So there's a consideration. It would do a lot. I mean, I think if you think about, we just talked about Kenya and Ethiopia, they're dominating in the marathons. But those countries, most of the African countries, really aren't well represented in the Winter Olympics. For obvious reasons, there's not a whole lot of snow and winter sports being played. It's not a big part of the culture and society um, in there. So this here could at least now you've got a little more representation in the Winter Olympics. So anyway, I throw that out there now. I'm all for it. Get on.
Yeah, I mean, and it's close enough to the previous Olympics where they did the breakdancing, and I don't think any addition is going to be as badly received as that. So, like you can't really lose. Do it up.
Wow, you are hating on wrestling and breakdancing today. Wow. By the way, for the record, when you send the mail and it's to her, I actually like wrestling, and I thought the breakdancing was incredible. And
I'm
by the
sorry.
way, it's just called breaking. They don't call breakdancing. It's just called breaking.
Sorry. You saw that insane woman from Australia?
I did, and she became a meme. So yeah, I did see her many times.
Yeah, she's nuts, and she ruined breaking at the Olympics. B-boy, whatever.
She broke the Olympics.
Yeah, horrible. But okay. But yeah, no, cross country, Winter Olympics. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. It sounds crazy, and it does seem crazy. I don't know how they would run or what they would run on or what kind of course it would be. But yeah, I'm all for it. Just bring in some other sports into the Winter Olympics, including running.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Last thing I had was just, are you familiar with the 10-10-10 marathon pacing concept? I was not.
Oh, no?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know if I even like it that much. I mean, just for anyone's benefit, that this is a marathon concept, and it's basically breaking the race down into 3 parts. Your first 10 miles, your second 10 miles, and then the 10K at the end. So, and then I do like that concept of at least mentally breaking it down so it's a little bit more, eatable chunks. But then the concept is to run your first 10 miles at a little bit faster than your goal pace. Then your second 10 miles really at goal pace and maybe a little faster than goal pace. Right, so I think the first one I said was 10 miles, a little slower than your goal pace.
Okay.
No, actually, it says target just under your goal marathon pace. So to me, that means faster.
That's what I read, and then I was like, that's never how I've had it go.
Oh, so I guess under your goal marathon pace. When I say under, now we're going to be confusing people because I'm going to be confused, and I am. Yeah, they say 3 seconds per mile under your goal marathon pace. So to me, that's faster.
Yeah.
That's how
I read that. That's how
okay. Yeah. So the first 10 miles. So let's be clear. First 10 miles, you're trying to go 2 to 5 seconds per kilometer, or maybe 3 to 6 seconds per mile faster than your average, what you expect for the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Then your next 10, you can be a little slower than that. So you're going to go a little slower in that next 10, and then the 10K at the end, the last 6.2 miles, you're going to pick it up and do all you can. Give it all you got. If you have anything left, go for it. What do you think of the 10-10-10 method?
So I don't like that. I feel like I often talk to, especially people for like their first marathon with coaching, like we do break it up into 10-10, 10K. Or usually it's more like a 3 mile, then you check in at 10 and then 10 and 10K. But again, I don't usually have people starting faster, especially for like, if this is a strategy for like newer marathoners, I don't usually have people starting faster than the goal pace because everything kind of was leading up to getting comfortable at this pace. So you wouldn't start them out at like already that uncomfortable pace above what we've been working towards. So maybe it's just written weird the way that it's explained. And they didn't mean under as in faster, but like under as in less effort or something. Because I usually would tell people to not worry too much about your goal pace until we're really like into the race, and then be like, how am I feeling? Am I feeling like we're doing great? Do I feel like I can keep it up? Settle into your goal pace. and then give it all you got at the end. But yeah, I'm not usually telling people to like go faster, because then you're now gassed and you're like, wow, I still have halfway to go before I'm even like going to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like an odd approach.
Yeah. And maybe for very experienced marathoners, this is maybe a great way to do it. I don't.
Yeah.
But for you, like it's just like you said, right? I think for a young marathoner, someone doing their first few marathons, there's a real risk of blowing up. So getting your nutrition right, your hydration wrong, and if you're going out too fast, you may feel good in the first. Those issues don't show up until the second half of the marathon. So most people feel good in the first half. It's the second half that's really rough. So yeah, I'm with you. I would be a little bit more conservative in the first half, and you'll feel a lot better if you're improving over time versus struggling at the end of the marathon. So
For sure.
like you, I think younger people should go a little easier up front. So that's it. That's all I had on that one.
Yeah, well, I would love for people to comment on the YouTube video with their marathon strategy, or explain to us why we're not understanding this one. Either one is great. And then we'll be back next week, regular time, which would be Tuesday, 9:45 a.m. American Run Club YouTube channel. If I ever get the audio right, you'll hear a podcast, an Apple podcast. If I don't,
we're just doing this.
So that's where we'll see you again. Tell your friends that we didn't disappear. We just don't use the microphones anymore somehow. And see ya.